What's up, everybody? Derek Anderson, the DA. All right, check this out. So we know that Hollywood actors are not the brightest bulbs in the box, okay? Or they're not the, they're not the sharpest tools in the toolbox, or is it the tool shed? Or they're not smart, all right? They're not the smartest people out there. A lot of them are stone cold idiots. But you were sitting there thinking during these strikes, like, do they not see the writing on the wall that they're laying out for themselves? That if they go on strike, you know, during a recession, right? During a recession, when people already expect Hollywood to have to peel back on some of the content that they're making, because it's like, yo, people ain't watching television like that no more. We got all of these TV shows out there we're spending tons of bread on, and nobody's really watching television like that. People aren't even going to the movies and checking out movies like that. You know, there's a lot of competition in the marketplace, and we're in a recession, so people aren't spending a lot of money on, like, you know, television. Like, peak TV is over, y'all. You know, and you would think, like, during that era, during a moment of time like that, hey, now is not the time to go on strike. It's not a good time. But, you know, the geniuses over there in the SAG and AFTRA, right? The Menses over there at SAG-AFTRA decided to go on strike. And so this headline right here is of absolute no surprise to nobody. A Hollywood contraction. Actors struggle to find jobs as TV castings dry up. And then here at the bottom, actors are finding it more difficult to get work in Hollywood these days. Gee, you don't say. I mean, how many times did we talk about that during the strike? That, yo, if you guys are hoping that on the other side of this, there's going to be more work. No, it's going to be less work. There's going to be less actors acting. There's going to be less writers writing because there's going to be less projects available. And then people were called, oh, you're haters and this and that because you're just pointing out some simple facts, some logic that apparently escaped the people, you know, over there at SAG-AFTRA and the WGA. This is going to absolutely continue for the writers as well. Best believe that. The jobs just aren't going to be there. Hollywood and all of these big studios, they used the strike. They used the strike as a great opportunity to just start redlining all kinds of projects that they didn't want to work on no more. And so here we got a bunch of actors sitting in the unemployment line now, you know, like, damn, man, I wonder if we screwed ourselves. Yes, fools, you screwed yourself. All right. Congratulations. You played yourself. You know, where's that one clip at?
Congratulations. You played yourself.
I mean, it's just what it is, right? So, yeah, let's go ahead and hear what they got to say. And then, you know, we on Deadline. You know where I'm going to right after this. Now, look, there's an editor's note. Deadline is launching a new series, Hollywood Contraction, which examines the toll the job losses caused by the ongoing industry-wide cost-cutting has had on different sections of the entertainment community, starting with the actors. Yeah, I mean, there's going to be a lot of contraction. There's going to be a lot of, you know, cost-cutting, all right? And there's going to be a whole lot of job losses. You know, again, this isn't to like poke fun at these cats, but it's like, yo, we saw this coming and we were telling y'all this is what's happening. That's why everybody was saying the strikes is stupid. It's the wrong time. It's the wrong time. You don't go in your boss's office and ask for a raise during a downturn in everything when the business is struggling. You don't go knocking on your boss's office saying, yo, I need some more bread. It's like, whoa, do you not see us cutting like other departments and, you know, like sending other people, they, you know, pink slips and everything? You're asking me for a raise? Bro, you lucky to be working still. Like, that's the wrong time to be doing this crap. That's basically the point. But again, the folks over there at SAG-AFTRA, you know, and again, I look at the big top actors. They're the ones that put these smaller actors. These are the cats that ain't finding work, these small acting roles. You know, the big time dogs, they're going to be all right. They're going to be just fine because they're going to get plenty of work because they got names, you know. But these smaller guys, the ones that was up there marching up and down the picket line all damn summer in the heat, these are the cats that are out of work. All right. It's not the big dogs. It's the little dogs. Y'all got played. And I was saying that the entire summer, all strike long, y'all are the ones getting played. Y'all going to be the ones that don't have jobs and you're going to be at, you know, McDonald's. All right. Welcome to McDonald's. Can I take your order? Yeah. Yeah. Give me some fries, you know, give me a shake and, you know, thank you very much. And, you know, good luck with your acting career. But I don't think it's coming back. At least not anytime soon. So yeah, let's go ahead and check this out. Most of the college-bound aspiring actors from the high school class of 2020 received their acceptance letters in the first days of the pandemic. Their early studies and stage training were disrupted by COVID, with many classes moving online. 4 years later, the same class is graduating from college and facing an even bigger challenge, a contracted TV marketplace PostStrike. It's so fucking hard out there. There is so little work. It's a brutal time in the business. There are no jobs. I hear consistently from agents, managers, and actors. Gee, who could have saw this coming? Anybody with a tiny smidgen of a brain could have saw this coming. And y'all should have said, we are not getting out there on that picket line. Y'all need to get in there and figure out something that's going to keep us all working or give us a better opportunity to work. Again, we knew that there was going to be a pullback just because peak TV had already ended. So, and all of these streaming services are not making the money that they thought they was going to make. So all of these shows that they just kept kicking out there into the world, they was going to start pulling some of those back. They were already in the process of doing that. So going on strike was just the dumbest move. You could have preserved some of this, but now, it's over. It is absolutely over now. On top of fewer shows and virtually no pilots, the available acting gigs pay less than they used to amid the rising cost of living, talent sources say, making it hard for many working actors to afford their rent or mortgage and support their families. But see, here's the problem with that. See, I get this, that you want to be able to pay your way, pay your, make a living, as an actor and afford rent and mortgage and all that kind of stuff. You got a family you want to support. I get it. But at the same time, the less jobs available, if you're not one of these top dog actors, you're trying to get discovered. You're trying to find, a producer or a director that sees some of your work and go, yo, that dude, I liked him in the thing that he was in. Hey, call that cat up. That's what you're looking for. The big break, your big opportunity. A lot of these cats, they working in Hollywood for 10, 12 years, jumping into all kinds of different roles, and then they finally land the one role that got eyeballs on them. But see, when you have fewer shows, and virtually no pilots, again, all of these small-time actors, these smaller actors, they're not going to get the amount of, opportunities to show their skills. There's going to be fewer opportunities for you now. Now you're going to be struggling and fighting for one role amongst, a sea of actors and actresses and everything else. You're going to be fighting for that single role instead of having a whole lot of roles and a whole lot of projects that they were working on. Now it's fewer projects, Fewer shows, no jobs. And see, that's why I always thought it was kind of stupid. I would have traded more work, less money. I'm like, hey, I believe in myself enough. I know that I can outplay everybody, but I do need to work on my craft. I do need to build myself up. And yeah, I would like to be able to jump into a Hollywood production where I'm in front of everybody, where I'm in front of all of these big producers and directors and et cetera, but now with less jobs, you're not getting an opportunity to jump into that, fray of people where you can mix and mingle. Now it's like, well, you're on the outside trying to get in, and that door is just getting narrower and narrower and narrower. It's starting to shrink. Again, when you lose opportunities, that's how it goes down, As Deadline reported in September, accelerated contraction and reeled-in budgets made for a bumpy re-entry into the TV marketplace post-strike. Everybody was saying this, It's not just YouTubers. It was everybody. Things only got worse by November when tens of thousands of SAG-AFTRA members started looking for jobs after the Actors Union reached an agreement with the studios. The wave of series cancellations during the dual Hollywood strikes has continued amid sweeping cost-cutting, including layoffs and content removal by traditional media companies and some belt-tightening among the tech-based streamers, too, as their once sky-high series budgets have come down to earth. Again, they can't afford this crap no more. Peak TV is over. They can't afford to be just dropping 100 million, 200 million on a series. Yo, we got to bring these budgets in, Started talking about that with that Mandalorian movie that's coming out. Yeah, we got to shrink this budget up. We can't just keep paying $200, $300 million on some of these things. Some of these TV projects, they got to shrink the budgets on those too. There's only so much money that can go around in a shrinking economy during a recession. There's only so much. And in my opinion, again, that's where the strikes really hurt them. That's where the strikes really hurt the actors. And what's more, the strikes resulted in a pipeline backlog with the number of streaming series originally intended for 2024 being pushed to 2025. That too. That has led to fewer green lights as platforms. 2025 slates are largely filled. The same goes for the broadcast networks, with most new scripted series for 2023 and 24 being delayed to next season. Yeah, because they couldn't get stuff on track for 2023 and 24. They couldn't get it. So it's like, yo, we got to bump all that crap back to 2025. So there's no reason to try to greenlight anything for this year. Just push all that other stuff that we was going to do, push it back a year. And so again, right now, no work, no new projects jumping off, no new shows, nothing. And again, they did it to themselves. That's the crazy thing. These actors, they got played by SAG-AFTRA, man. They totally did. And now we got a non-existent 2024 pilot season. A decade ago, as many as 100 broadcast pilots would be casting right now. This year, we have a total of 3. Damn. All at NBC. In addition to a shot at an on-air series, casting in a pilot provides a lifeline for hundreds of actors with a paycheck that helps them qualify for the union's health insurance. Yeah, all that shit about the health insurance, everything they were fighting for. We need health insurance. Yeah, they just screwed these cats out of health insurance. Again, hundreds of actors. It went from 100 pilots down to 3 pilots. How many jobs is that? Again, they were listening to the wrong people. They should have been listening to people with some common sense and not these SAG-AFTRA clowns. I wonder how Fran Drescher is doing right now, man. She's probably getting all kind of hate mail, man. It's hilarious. The broadcast networks had already been pulling away from pilots. They don't really factor into Fox's development model, and the new CW scripted slate relies predominantly on international co-productions. Yeah, they're going overseas. Again, all of this stuff was just the wrong reason to go on strike. You just don't go on strike, man. I'm telling you. Still, after the physical and emotional toll of the strikes on actors, many of whom lived off of savings and odd jobs for 6 months, they had been looking forward to the 2024 pilot season for some semblance of normalcy. Nope.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
The fewer actors are auditioning this year for pilots versus previous seasons, and actors are really feeling the emotional effect, one casting director said. Yeah, I bet they are. All right. Waiting tables can be emotional sometimes. They got to wait them tables. Yeah, man, look, working for tips is hard, man. It's not an easy job at all. Competition for the few series regular roles that are available is much more intense. Yeah, you got so many people, you got a handful of roles and you got hundreds, maybe thousands of actors trying to get 1 or 2 roles in them. I mean, come on, man. It's going to be a nightmare. The same applies to name actors getting offers. NBC's Suits LA pilot cast Arrow and heel star Stephen Amell as its lead. Yeah, see, guys like Stephen Amell, they're going to get work. All right, they're going to get work. They're going to be all right. It was the smaller dudes that's not going to get work. They're going to be fighting with Stephen Amell for work. So now you've thrown big name actors or bigger named actors into the mix with all of these nobodies. Who you think they're going to pick? They're going to pick Stephen Amell. And so that's the problem. You have these kind of cats in the mix. And y'all remember, Stephen Amell was like against the strike. Y'all remember that? He was coming out like, yo, I think strikes are reductive. We shouldn't be doing this. Like low key, he was absolutely saying what was good for those smaller actors, those guys up and down the picket line. But y'all remember they tried to cancel him. They were shouting him down. Oh, you a sellout. You're not a team player, Stephen Amell. And so he ended up putting on his little strike T-shirt. Walking up and down with the picket sign in his arms like a mark. And yeah, but look, he's got a job. He's going to be fine. The smaller actors, nah, not so much. During pilot season, we would normally have a feeding frenzy for TV stars of his caliber, but because of the contraction with broadcast volume going down, pilots drying up, and streamers often going for feature names, there are dozens of proven TV stars in their 30s, 40s, and 50s, all of whom have headlined hit series that have been sidelined for months, some for a year or two with no major job prospects. So even those guys are going to be losing out. And again, if they pick anybody, they're going to be definitely finding them headliners. They're going to be finding guys like Stephen Amell. He'll get something. Yeah, there'll be people, like proven TV stars. There's going to be some folks that are not going to work. But again, it's just going to be rough for everybody. But I think those proven TV stars, they probably going to be all right, because they do, again, I'm pretty sure they've made a lot of money. They probably going to be cool. Again, it's that cat that was up and down the picket line in the hot ass sun all summer long. That's going to be the cat that's going to be stressed out. All right. And he's like, all right, man, time to work at McDonald's. You're not going to see Stephen Amell at McDonald's. That's not happening. All right. and these other proven TV stars. They ain't gonna be at Mickey D's, you know? Yeah, but some of y'all actors out there, and speaking of which, you know where I like to go at this point? The deadline comments. And the reason I like to go to the deadline comments is because it's always people in the industry that show up on deadline. 77 comments, right? Some of these cats, they work in the industry and they always post under anonymous, you know? So let's see what some of these cats got to say. Streamers were given favors and they took advantage of it. That should have never happened. And because of them, industry workers had to fight. And instead of fair negotiation, streamers did dirty deeds, I guess, to further destroy earning potential. They shouldn't have been treated with kid gloves in the first place. Now studios are striking back. Yeah, 100%. Like the studios are basically, they're not even striking back. They're like, yo, we got a business to run. So we're just going to have to cut some of this shit. You wanted to strike, but didn't think about the consequences. 100%, right? This contraction has nothing to do with the strike. You're not in the industry or you know that. Well, it's not 100% on the strike, but the strike does factor into it, you know, because they got to pay actors more money. So they have to pay them more money. And now it's like, well, we can't really afford it. We were already in the process of contracting. And now we got to contract even more, you know, because now we got to pay actors more money and writers more money. You know, that's more of an outpay for us. We're not going to be able to produce all the crap we were producing at one point in time. Now we got to pull back. Thanks, unions. Yeah, exactly. This was predicted by many of us. The WGA and actors just struck themselves out of any long-term gains. They will never make up the lost jobs and lost wages of the strikes of 2023. Many of us predicted this very thing would happen. Congratulations, WGA and SAG. You picked up a few pennies but threw away dollars. Idiots. All of you who pushed for strikes, idiots. It was the wrong time to strike. You strike, what I kept saying, when is it advantageous to you? That's when you strike. You don't strike when it's not advantageous. When we're going through a recession, it's a downturn in the economy, all right? The studios were already having to pull back. Why strike then? It just didn't make any sense. The only people that benefited from this, like I said, are the big names that was already good anyway. It just makes absolutely no sense. This guy says, agreed. And now you think you're Nostradamus. Shows were getting canceled and people getting laid off before the strike. Again, that's why you don't strike. Because all of this was going on before the strike. And so now adding the strike to it, it's just pouring gasoline on the fire. Like, I'm amazed that people, man, like I said, people ain't smart. That's all it is to it. This guy, although SAG fought for what they believed was right, what they ultimately did was negotiated themselves out of work. While they were picketing, the streamers were figuring out ways around it all. The outcome, shoot overseas with perhaps 2 SAG actors. The rest are non-union, no residuals. As for the rest of the below-the-line craft workers in LA, we are out of luck, options, and work. Thanks. Yeah, again, this sounds like some guy that's in the union, IATSE, you know, and so now he's screwed. You know, again, I don't understand, but they're not smart people over there, right, in Hollywood. And let's be honest, while not all of this can be blamed on the strikes, COVID really damaged us and the strikes helped seal our fate 1,000%. Again, they were already coming out of COVID, so they were already coming out of less work that was being done because of COVID. And then on top of that, you add the strikes, and then you strike forever and a day. You don't make some quick little deal and try to get back to work. No, we're going to strike for months and months and months. And now we got another strike coming up because IATSE's talking about going on strike along with the Teamsters. You know, the behind the scenes crew, they're talking about, yo, we're about to strike. I mean, you know, again, Hollywood is eating itself alive right now. The actors are going to be struggling trying to figure. But see, look, this is what it is. Let me say this. A little white pill for everybody. All right. What this is going to do is this is going to open up the opportunity for more independent creations. OK, more independent filmmaking, more independent television shows or whatever. You can throw it up on YouTube. Hey, create a show and put it up on YouTube. Like Katz is already kind of doing that. You see Critical Drinker making his own movie. You see Eric July, Young Ripper with his own comic book company, the Ripperverse. You're seeing all of these, you know, independent content creators building this Iron Age out. And that's what it's going to be. Independent content creators building out their own thing, not going to Hollywood for nothing. So all of these like actors that are out of work and writers that are going to be out of work, like the good ones, the passionate ones, they will still be out there creating, and they're going to say, hey, man, I'm going to create my thing, and I'm going to throw it out there for the public. You know, we got all the tools available to us. You know, who knows how AI is going to start changing the game for a lot of these cats. So they could just, hey, man, I could just like, you know, produce my own film, my own animated shorts or whatever. And they could just start doing that stuff. And you're going to see more and more and more creatives flexing their creativity in the marketplace. And guess what? That's the real danger to Hollywood. You know, when the Iron Age starts to take control and it becomes almost a 50-50 split, you know, between independent creators and Hollywood in terms of the market share for content and for entertainment. And, you know, I really believe that Hollywood is kind of on its way down, not out, but completely down. They're going to lose a lot of market share to independent creators. They already have, and it's just gaining. YouTube is the #1 streaming platform in the world. And it's people like just making content. And so I think Hollywood, they're going to be on their way down, not out, but down. And, you know, the Iron Age is just going to start rising up. And honestly, that's a good thing. It'll make entertainment better for everybody. But anyway, folks, that's it for this. But, you know, we saw it coming. OK, we saw this all coming, actors. All right. And we were talking about it all summer long. You know, you are screwing yourself out of work. And it is what it is. All right. We tried to warn you. But you guys go ahead. Let me know what you think. Jump down in the comments. Give me your thoughts and opinions on that. And thanks for watching. See you next time.